My name is Charlotte Carroll, and this is my video editing statement for Project 4, which is the person interview. And this project was really interesting for me and challenging because I've never actually done an interview using a video camera. I've always stuck to the print side or audio, actually not even a real audio story, just really just writing. So this was a real challenge for me because I've never done such an assignment. So it was exciting to actually start learning how to do this and become more versatile and start learning what problems to fix. So for this project, I decided to do a person from the campus bike shop, or the Neutral Cycle, which is a bike shop on 5th and Green. And I just kind of went in there one of the days before the project was due and set up an interview with someone in the shop who ended up being his name was Matt, and he's the shop manager, so he was really great, and he was all about trying to help. So it was good to have someone like that to talk with, and he knew what he was talking about, which was fantastic. So in order to kind of set up for this interview, we learned everything we needed to do before an interview. So I, the day before, went and got a light kit, and then I took that home, kind of played around with it that night just so I knew what I was doing in order to be prepared for the actual interview. Then the morning of the interview, I went, set up my light kit, and met him. I did it before the shop actually opened, so it was quiet. I liked the background of my interview, which was we just kind of used the bikes as opposed to just a boring blank wall. So it was fit his personality and fit what I was trying to talk about. So that was great, and then just set everything up. I didn't have any problems with the equipment. I think everything went pretty smoothly. After doing the interview, which was great, I took some B-roll just of the shop while he was kind of in there kind of doing his own thing, but because the shop was still not open, I decided I'd come back later, or I think it was the next morning, and get more B-roll footage of him actually working, and then some customers in there as well, just so I had that to add to the video itself and to kind of create a sequence. So the next day I went back, took my camera and tripod, and just got some B-roll footage of him working on the bike and just working on kind of fixing some tires and things like that. So that it turned out really cool. So then the next day, I think it was actually that Friday morning, I got the B-roll, and the rough draft was originally due that Friday night. So after class, I was in the lab from 2:30 to probably like 8 p.m. that night, trying to come up with a rough draft, but I had problems going through that with the video itself and exporting. So it got to a certain point, it was probably 6 p.m. when I just had to stop, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and export this and see what happens. And I tried exporting and it did not work, so I ended up restarting because Jeremy was actually in the class with me. So he was actually just starting his project, or the portion of like layering the audio and stuff like that. So I tried it again, and it worked much better, and I was actually able to export a rough draft at that point. So I was happy with my rough draft because it's the first video, so it was kind of exciting to do. Then we came to class next week and we looked over kind of what we could do better, and hearing commentary and actually looking at it too, I need to work on the way I set up my person for the actual interview, and the way, because in my video I think I did the rule of thirds okay, but I don't have I think the cropping might be too, like, it's okay, it looked good to me, but I don't have my person, Matt, looking directly at my eyes. He's more looking at the camera, so he's not, and he kind of rolls around, which I had trouble with in lab a few weeks ago, setting that up, and I didn't fix it there, so that's something I just have to do kind of while I'm by myself and kind of get an idea of what I need to do subconsciously to get the interview appropriately for the next time I do it, which I think is the biggest thing I learned, is just trying to get eye contact, because when I'm doing print, you literally just get clips of audio and you're able to talk with them and make eye contact. There's no need to worry about having that video, and it's very weird and different, and it's a little frustrating. There's so many different things you have to think about, and going through the editing process, you're like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, I wish I got some more room tone. So these are things I will be thinking about next time after doing it this first time, which is good to know. It's good to have this practice, and it's in terms of like before we go into more projects. So it was a really good start, I believe, and I'm very happy with the way I finished it. I did just him talking about his the bike shop, and he's only been there for a little bit, so it's kind of cool to see what growth he's seen just in his time there. And I do think I created a good sequence. I'm happy with the B-roll I took, and yeah, so that is my project 4. I'm overall very happy because I've never done a video interview, so this was really exciting, and I'm happy with the way it turned out.